shut itself off. It is 67 degrees outside right now, and I've got the AC running mildly. That's not an overheating issue. There must have been there must have been a disconnection in the signal that I didn't notice, because I'm not distracted when I drive. I take a quick glare at the phone and then I'm staring at the road. And I'm mostly just staring at the road. I just check in on the phone every like maybe 30 seconds or something. That's some bullshit. But anyway. So anyway, my point is that these guys were acting like that. I don't know where it cut off, so I'm sorry if you're missing context. This is a part 2 now of the prior video just now. So anyway, their culture was going this way, right? Their culture wanted to have a lifestyle that had no personality. Like the Romans, you saw the speech that I read in the temple. You know, when the temple's finally fucking destroyed and they're in the cleanup operation, and they make and they tell them what the fuck's gonna happen now to these guys, right? Because, you know, this is the fall of the Jewish state, etc., right? And they're just like, they didn't sit there and say, dude, you guys, you know, all you do is go to the bathhouse all day, because they go to the bathhouse all day, right? You know, these people, you know, they didn't want to work for their own kingdom, right? You know, this is far beyond any kind of taxable exploitation or contractual support for their parent empire. There's, you know, this has always been a thing too, right? You know, wherever the Jewish people go, because as a people, you know, they're always consistently waiting for the nation to be given to them that they deserve. They will brown nose any empire, right? And like they mooch off of an empire. They go to an emperor and it'd be like, you know, they do something to really win over love and favor with that empire. And then they're talking to the emperor and they're just like, and if you could, when you're out marauding, you know, if it's not too expensive, you know, could you maybe blow up Palestine and, you know, so we can live there one day, right? Like, and that's the reason why they try to, you know, do so good with people, right? It's their race will always be like that, right? It's like you don't get that from other peoples, right? You know, like Norway isn't entirely Norman, right? And, you know, imagine if the Normans were still like a cohesive group of people, and they were just like, man, Norway isn't Norman anymore. We want to have a Norman nation, right? And so we're gonna keep asking, you know, for Oslo or something like that, right? You see what I mean, right? And so then you would brown nose the nation of Norway to be like, dude, could you give us Oslo, because like we're Normans and that's our history, right? I think Oslo's even the capital, so it sounds a little absurd, no doubt. No doubt even sounds absurd because it happens to be the capital of Norway. So it's not like one for one. It's not like the Jews need Rome because Rome set itself up in Palestine, right? I suppose a better explanation would be like, imagine if the Sami people would do anything, betray their own values, anything but, truly fight for it. And, truly work to be the adequate fighter for it. And to put away any character weakness. Because you want to have that soldier's mindset, that worker's mindset, so on and so forth. It'd be like, we're taking back Finland. Right? Finland is Somland. Right? It's going to be the Sami people's land. Right? Any particular fucking nation, right? We want to be this culture about the whole stolen land thing, and yet it doesn't work like that, right? It comes off like nationalism, but the reason why it isn't nationalism is because, contextually speaking, the only way their idea will work, because of the kind of people that they're trying to gift this to, selflessly and all that altruistic shit, is because it's, the entire world is going to have to fucking pay for it, the way America, being the predominant, global money source for everyone else, has to foot the bill for the UN's obligations to uphold the treaties that make the state of Israel sustain as it is. This is the game. This is the goddamn game we're playing. Right? And, it's just like Canada, which is still a part of the British Empire, as we all witnessed this year. Canada could do it, right? If Canada took its conservative body of men and they all fucking got their shit together real tight, joined with a 90% defection of some sort of the Canadian military from the Imperial Parliament, the British Crown's Parliament, you can do it. You can beat them off. You can reaffirm under independent terms your charters of rights and freedoms and your own constitution and all that stuff, and then start printing money with living or dead fucking persons on it, and see how that goes. Hey, what's up, Ab? But we keep pretending that the foundation of Israel is like the foundation of any other nation. But it's not. And question of, in modern day, like, what if Iran has this regime change? What if all these fucking measures that are happening between tariffs, sanctions, the bombings that just happened, and any other prospects for the future, like, we get a regime change in Iran, a very Israel fair to friendly fucking government over there, and then what happens, right? Then if you know, does Israel change its tune? Because because it was always telling the truth, and now the excuse is gone. It doesn't have to look like this nasty little war hawk complaining about 3 seconds from a nuclear bomb for fucking 20 years, like climate change is a coming. Or does Iran, or do they just start picking on other nations? Or does Israel try to convince us that this regime is bad, too? Right? Because some shenanigans in the change in the government. I don't know. There's a lot of questions that I have about how that's going to work. There's a lot that we don't understand. We've been dealing with Iran as a semi-big deal for a long time now, with a Persian culture being suppressed by the alienization through Islam and their particular brand of Shia Islam in that nation, and all this interest, and we don't have enough people telling us what they're talking about over there. We haven't had anybody basically explain Farsi to us. Like, we haven't spent any time having anybody learn to speak any inch of Farsi, so that way we can hear the public discourse, perhaps read about the shit. Like, you don't have like a Iranian newspaper that you can whatever, right? Like, how did we do things before? How did the Shah work? Like, how did our intelligence guys get the Shah in there in the 50s? Like, somebody had to know fucking Farsi who supported the CIA agenda. You understand? So anyway, alright, so that's it for real. I'll try and go through my videos before I start my job, because I'm pretty early. Alright, I'll catch you later. Bye.